What's going on, everybody? It is TripleCrown24 back today, recording my second COMC update. This one's for November 2022. Probably won't run as long as the first one since I don't have to do all the background work. But if you haven't seen the first episode where I talk about my return to COMC, kind of break down some of the baseline information that you'll know for my journey here, and I would encourage you to go check that out. But if you've already been caught up on that, let's get into it today. Here is how things currently stand. I am recording this on November 2nd. This will probably come out on Friday the 4th if I am aligning things correctly here. We're actually not going to browse to buy cards here. But let's go over to my seller stats to show you how I did selling wise, and then we'll show you how I did purchase wise here in the month of October 2022. So in my second month back, saw a dip in sales about 30% less. The number of cards I sold was actually around the same. So that would indicate that I'm selling a lot of lower dollar cards. And as I go through the sales here, you'll see that is pretty much accurate. One of the reasons that I can explain this is because I didn't do nearly as much buying as I did in September. And part of the reason for that was because a lot of the buying that I was doing was outside of COMC. Of course, I had the Nashville card show, the Midwest Monster, as well as the various other shows that I went to during the month of October. And usually when I'm on the road or during the weekends, I don't have as much time to go in and kind of scour COMC to see what type of cards that I'm going to pick up. And because of that, it limits my opportunities to buy new inventory that is going to be immediately available again. I'm still at the point now where my first two batches I sent in have had 0 cards processed, unfortunately. We're about 6 weeks into the clock on them. No action yet. I imagine that once that changes, it will allow these numbers to be a little bit more steady and not rely on me so heavily buying cards directly from the website, although that is something I will continue to do. On buying cards, it's just that they're not going to really have any effect until 4 months from now, which is kind of one of the good side, bad side type of situation with what I am doing in terms of buying these cards in the value boxes and then bringing them to CMC. But nonetheless, let me take a look and show you exactly what I was doing during the month of October 2022. These were my sales. You'll see a lot of lower dollar stuff, a lot of these hockey cards that got cleared out from that first port that I opened, or I guess I should say I purchased. And that was back on September 11th. So it's been a while now, about 2 months into it, or coming up on 2 months into buying that port. And I've done well enough with a lot of the cards in that port where I can lower the prices on some things and perhaps give out some deals on cards to other people. And even though on some of these here, you'll see that I took a loss on them, overall with the port, I am still up enough where it doesn't matter too much. I don't know if there is a way to easily see this without having to track it on my own. If there was, I would love to know how. But one of the things that I am doing with the port is just kind of keeping a mental tally of how much I've gotten back on the port and how close I am to breaking even. And I feel that I am fairly close right now, which is why I'm willing to take a loss on certain cards. It's one thing I wish that COMC showed you, like, hey, here's your progress on this specific port. But perhaps they do that. If there is, I would love to know how. So if you can provide that information in the comments, I would be extremely thankful. But anyways, with that aside, looking at some of the other ones that I've bought, there were a ton of like really cheap cards that I purchased. So one of the big examples here that I'll show you is this Kadarius Toney Rookie of the Year insert. This same guy kept uploading these cards, and I think he was running like a 90% off sale. So you would see some of these inserts for literal pennies on the dollar. And they're not the most impressive, like, this will put food on the table type of sales, but they add up. Here you see this one I bought for 3 cents. I ended up netting 9 cents. So I'm tripling my money on this card, and I didn't have to put that much into it. Worst case scenario, this gets shipped back to me, and I put it in one of my quarter boxes for a show. Not a huge loss. Here's another one here at 1 cent for 9 cents. I mean, just I'm not having to put too much into it. It keeps my port full. I have more cards to offer to people, and very low risk, low reward as well. But when you're having risk this low, why not go ahead and buy them is kind of my thoughts. So A lot of numbered stuff moving or tougher parallels to get, like the Zach Ertz retail SSP Prism, red Prism card here. There are a lot of these smaller sales I could kind of pick apart here, but I do want to try to focus on some of the larger sales that I made. So for the sake of time here, we'll skip ahead a little bit. Here's one of them right here. Good timing of when I bought this one. It was at the end of the regular season. Of course, the Phillies now, at the time of recording, up 2-1 in the World Series. A big part of that is due to Mr. Bryce Harper right here. So here's a Memorial Day camo. This is one I made an offer on. I was a little hesitant on it, but I figured it was a good enough price to take a chance at it. Bought for 40, ended up netting 71.25 thanks to this eBay buyer here in about a month. So a victory I was definitely very happy with there. There's another JOK autograph here, number to 10. One of those players that just from going to shows I know sells fairly well, or I get asked about this guy from time to time. So I saw this autograph, number 10 of 10. It's from a lesser desired product in limited, but number to 10, I figured someone would want it. Sure enough, it's sold not too long after I picked it up here. Pretty much doubled up on that one. Keep moving along here. I took a few more losses. One of the things I do want to point out is, like, on these newer products, I have learned very quickly that you do not want to go in on these newer cards that will probably end up flooding the site as time goes on, because, well, people begin the undercutting very quickly on these. And you can see that was the case here on this Soto. Ended up losing net 55 cents on it. Not a huge deal, but lesson learned. At least, thankfully, it wasn't a larger loss. And, I'll gladly pay to lose that lesson there. Found this Josh Allen red, white, and blue prism. Anytime any of these big name quarterbacks come up and it's a parallel of them for the right price, I will definitely take a flyer on it. Worst case scenario, as I keep saying, have to get it shipped back to me. And a lot of these cards that I'm buying, I don't mind. Here's a good one here, Julio Rodriguez, Ray Wave. Some of his stuff has cooled off a little bit, but he remains probably the most asked about baseball player for me at shows, even more than Ohtani and Judge, who had phenomenal seasons this year. But J-Rod kind of remains king for the most part here. Bought this one for $5. I know that these Ray Waves, just kind of studying the site, a lot of them command a decent price, more than you would think. And even like the base card of this, or the base Chrome card from this, I saw some people selling them for like $3.50. So without really knowing what this card was actually worth, I picked it up for $5. Took about a month, but almost 4x my money on that one. So that was a nice little win. Here's probably the biggest one, Tom Brady Aurora from 2020 Prism. These are a tougher insert to hit, and bought it for $85 back on the 28th of September. Sold for $141.55, excuse me, net. So nice little jump on that one there. Didn't take too long really to move it. You'll see this was an eBay purchase, and one of my strategies on these higher end cards is to take a look through TerraPeak, since I have an eBay store, and I can actually see how many people are watching these listings that COMC puts up when they cross list them on eBay. And on some of these cards, if I see enough people watching it, I will lower the price a little bit, hoping that eBay sends them a notification and might encourage them to jump on it, since they can only make offers on COMC's website rather than through eBay. That's kind of my way of making an offer to them, since I also can't send them an offer as a seller, as I'm not the eBay seller on it. So that's just a little strategy that I will use from time to time if I want to try to move the needle and maybe get someone to jump on something. Keep looking around here. You'll see more and more of these lower end inserts that I was talking to you about that came from the same seller. A lot of these hockey cards that were from that first port that I purchased were able to move, just clearing them out, really. I bought them for 1/10 of a cent, according to COMC. I know it rounds up here, but I end up getting 1.9 cents. It's not luxurious by any means, but hey, it's good on a sale, so why not? Love these Topps Pristine refractors, especially the encased ones of the stars. Here's a Yachty that I got for $14. Pretty much doubled up on that one. Just big fan of those cards. Glad that Topps brought them back. Sold a lot of Darius Garland, sold a lot of Cade Cunningham. They were probably some of my better sellers during the month of October. Keep moving along here, show you a few more of the better sales. Here's another one. Because he was a red, I picked this one up. It was one of the main cards in that port that I purchased. Tyler Stevenson, rookie purple from Sapphire, 2021 Bowman Chrome Sapphire, numbered 25 from 461 up to 1496. So a nice little one there to get a nice chunk of change back on that port. Keep rolling along here. Here's another good one. Prism parallel of a Lakers player. I'm always going to take a look at those if it's a low numbered card like this one here. Choice green out of 8 of KCP, former Piston. One of those that just I figured I would go ahead and scoop up, and sold within 24 hours. Essentially doubled up on that one as well. So not too shabby there. Keep rolling along. Here was a Spencer Strider that I found for pretty cheap. This one was a nice little markup on that one. Keep going through here. Not a bunch of so not as many high dollar cards selling, but some solid lower end stuff. And you'll see if you pay attention, this is when it was sold. This is when I purchased it. So a few of these in here were ones that I've been sitting on for at least a month right now, which relative to some of these other ones you're seeing is a bit of a long time. To me, it's not really all that long of a time, but it's nice when those types of things move. Keep moving along here. That Schmidt at the bottom was a return, one of those that I was kind of like, dang, I wish I was able to hold on to that one, but those happen from time to time. So that was pretty much it. Let me go back to my dashboard here. Let's see. Nothing sold since we started the video. That's a bummer. I'm just kidding. Let me show you what I purchased. So this is at the top here. Some of these, this one in particular I wanted to talk about, but I bought it at the start of November. So we will we'll table that one for a little later on. Let me show you some of the things I bought during the month of October. And in fact, probably the best way to do that is to go to my ports. So let me see if I can. It's my address there. So I guess if you want to send me something, you can now. It's not my intention to pull that up, so whoops. But hey, we'll keep rolling with it. Here we go. Here's my port. I'm still learning how to navigate. So you see here a lot of the things. These are things that I have actually bought and I have for sale right now. 354 unique cards. I have some duplicates in there, but just a lot of Topps Chrome parallels. You see some color of some maybe second or third tier rookies from Topps flagship. I like to pick those up from time to time, or something that's low numbered if it's the right price. Doesn't matter who the player is. These Platinum Anniversary cards I've had a lot of luck with. That's just a set that I feel is going to be so popular for set collectors going forward that if I ever see these refractors or even like the X-Fractors for cheap, I pick them up just because I think that they are really cool. Some of these like first off the line parallels from certain products I'll pick up too, just because some stars here like Bryce Harper, see more Platinum Anniversaries kind of in here. These Topps Blacks, if they're the right price, I do like picking up the black parallels. So go ahead and grab those. But just a lot of color, a lot of nice names. Here's a Charlie Blackmon autograph, number 25. It's a Donruss auto. It's not a high-end card, but it's a cool one. If you're a Blackmon collector, get a nice low-numbered autograph for less than the blaster. You know, why not? So here's a cool one that I want to bring back to Cincinnati if it doesn't sell on here. Zach Taylor. He's actually the coach of the Bengals. This is his 2007 Bowman Chrome rookie. It's a gold refractor. I thought that was neat. I think it was like $4 or something, so I just grabbed it because I thought it was really cool. Here's one that I found for really cheap. I got two of these Carmelo first edition Topps rookies. They were I just was kind of scrolling through some Carmelos because I think I had purchased some, and I was looking at what other people had them at, and I saw these were first editions, and I scooped them up and got them corrected. Here's a nice 5-star Jamal Charles. Always loved my 5-star. Some slabs in here, a couple of slabs. Nothing too crazy. Low numbered V-Mart color match refractor there. But outside of that, really nothing that's too crazy. I don't remember really putting a lot of money into any specific cards. Like I said, haven't been buying as much on the platform, just haven't found as many things that I wanted to because I haven't been on as much, but just some cheap color, some cheap like refractors and stuff. Here's one that is one of the better ones, Castellanos rookie auto from Topps Chrome Blue. Another one of those that is relatively timely of a purchase now since he's in the World Series. But outside of that, I think this really comes to the end of the ones that I have purchased that I still have from the month of October. Here's one. I got this one for $1. Kellen Mond, number to 5. I get that he's lost a lot of love in the hobby because he was cut by the Vikings, and then I think he's with the Browns right now, but it was $1 number to 5. So I will lower the price on this one probably pretty soon. You guys know exactly what I'm into it for, so I don't have to get crazy amount for it. But there's some cool white sparkles, and yeah, I think this Riley Green was from last month too. So that's about where it cuts off at. But this is just stuff that I would be looking for if I was at a dollar box at a show or a value box of any sort to bring back to my eBay store. And this has essentially become a substitute for my eBay store with a lot of these cards since I'm not doing the PWE shipping anymore. And I still like to sell these lower end cards. There's certainly a market for them. There's a place for them. And yeah, I love putting them out there and getting them in the right hands. So that is it for today's recap. I hope you guys found this one interesting. Again, I would love to hear your feedback more about things that you want to see from these recaps going forward. I definitely don't have a specific formula down for recording these yet. I'm still kind of getting my bearings set for these, but if you want me to approach it differently, would love to hear your feedback on that. So I'll be back with probably a card show recap on Monday, I would imagine. But until then, take care, stay safe, be kind.